Hello people, this is your boy Robert Quest, and today I'm doing another video. It's going to be a review. Today's review is about Ayakashi Triangle, the anime. Now, I saw a clip of this anime, I think. Yeah, I saw a clip of this anime, and it was about the thickness of the main character's legs. I knew this was a gender bender anime. The hell? Oh, okay. I knew this was a gender bender anime, but I didn't know what it was about. But I'm gonna tell you what it's about. Ayakashi Triangle is about exorcist ninjas. There's these things called Ayakashi, and most of them are harmless but mischievous. However, there are a few Ayakashi that are willing to harm humans. So we have these exorcist ninjas that specifically target the Ayakashi that harms humans. Because Ayakashi are usually unseen by most humans. However, the only ones that can see them are Ayakashi. Ayakashi can see other Ayakashi. However, exorcist ninjas, they can see them, and these people called Ayakashi mediums. Those are the two people that can see Ayakashi. So far as we know, I don't know if it's come out of a second season, but in the first season, the only two types of people that can see Ayakashi are exorcist ninjas and Ayakashi mediums. If you don't know what a medium is, so look it up. It's spelled Medium. Medium. So look it up. Anyways, there's this main character named Matsuri Kazumaki. I think that's his last name. I know his first name is Matsuri. Matsuri. Matsuri is an exorcist ninja. He's a young man. I think he's like 15, 16, something like that. And he has a best friend named Suzu, who's a girl. Suzu doesn't know she's an Ayakashi medium, but Matsuri does. When Matsuri was a little kid, he used to see the Ayakashi and be afraid of it. Until he met Suzu, the Ayakashi medium, who befriended the Ayakashi. Sorry. Who befriended the Ayakashi. Eventually, Matsuri and Suzu becomes friends with the Ayakashi. Until one day, Matsuri begins chasing the Ayakashi away from Suzu. We don't know what this is yet until the end of the first episode. So this is Pacific Ayakashi named Shirogane. Bless you, thank you, whatever. Shirogane is the king of Ayakashi. And he wants to devour Suzu because Suzu has something called Haku. Has a lot of something called Haku, which is physical energy. And that's what the Ayakashi are made out of, Haku. So he wants to devour Suzu to gain a lot of physical energy, or Haku. So what happens is, Shirogane presents himself as a regular house cat, or regular stray cat, until he eventually transforms into a gigantic, monstrous looking cat. And that's his true form as the king of Ayakashi. He tries to devour Suzu. Before that happens, Matsuri goes to his grandfather, where he learned his exorcist ninja arts from, and his grandfather gives him a scroll. This scroll allows Matsuri to seal Shirogane up. Not completely, most of his power. However, before he completely seals Shirogane up in the scroll, Shirogane uses something called gender switching ability, or gender switching technique, and he turns Matsuri from a redhead young boy to a white-haired young girl. So Matsuri became a female, basically. And most of Shirogane's power is just sealed inside the scroll. So that's the whole premise of this anime. So Shirogane decides to hang around to get the scroll from Matsuri. Because Matsuri always keeps him at all times. However, the anime goes to other pathways along with the story. Eventually, that doesn't even matter at the end of the series. But I'm not trying to spoil it too much. But that's the main premise in the beginning of the series, is that Shirogane is trying to get the scroll from Matsuri. Meanwhile, Suzu's trying to befriend Shirogane to change his ways. That's the whole story. Now, let's talk about the characters. Matsuri. Matsuri seems to be a confident, strong young man. However, as a girl, we see more of his personality. He doesn't have any social skills. He's introspective. He doesn't have that much social skills because it's really due to his upbringing. Most of his life, he's training to become an extra ninja. That's what he was doing for most of his life. So he didn't have time to make friends or be social or any of that. So what happens is, after Matsuri becomes a girl, he attends school as Suzu's friend. However, Suzu has friends of her own, and Matsuri eventually becomes friends with Suzu's friends as a girl. But they don't know he's actually a boy on the inside. And he has a hard time being girlfriends with them because he's a boy on the inside, but on the outside, physically he's a girl, but mentally and spiritually he's a boy. Suzu is a kind, confident, outgoing, social young girl. Immediately after Shirogane tries to eat her, and he turns Matsuri into a girl, she tries to befriend Shirogane as a pet, kind of. But she not really a pet, but she's trying to make him a friend and try to change his ways. Where am I? But she didn't know she was an Ayakashi medium, and that's why Matsuri was chasing the Ayakashi away from her after he found out. And he trained strong, specifically so he could protect Suzu from Ayakashi. Because the reason why I didn't mention this earlier. The reason why is because Ayakashi mediums attract dangerous Ayakashi to them. So that's why Matsuri start trying to separate Suzu from the Ayakashi. But now, Matsuri begins to change his ways. He starts to see that that most Ayakashi are not bad, and that Suzu can still be friends with Ayakashi, but for the dangerous Ayakashi, Matsuri will protect her from them. Shirogane, his main goal is to get the scroll, get his power back, and devour Suzu, the Ayakashi medium. But as the series goes along, he starts to get along with the humans, and because we see this when he transforms into a physical stray cat that other humans can see, and he becomes a stray cat at their high school, and he starts befriending the other people at the high school. So he starts to integrate into human society more and more, and we see this by the end of the series. Where am I? So yeah, Oh yeah, my series grandpa. My series grandpa is seems like the wise old man, but he's also perverted. Just like Master Roshi. There's quite a few perverted old characters in anime. Like, because when Matsuri first transformed into a girl, and he came back home, his grandpa was like, "Oh, what, Matsuri? What happened?" And this, by the way, this anime is also ecchi. I forgot to mention that. So we see a lot of angles, but if you watch it on Crunchyroll, it's heavily censored. So don't worry if you're not into fan service. But if you buy the DVD or Blu-ray, I think it's uncensored. By the way, I ordered it online. I want to see the uncensored version. That cause it's censoring on Crunchyroll. It got to me. I was like, oh my god, why are they censoring it so much? It was ridiculous. But yeah, story wise, I talk about the main characters, the side characters. Suzu's friends. Suzu's friends are like confident, outgoing, friendly, and you can get along with them well. The blonde haired chick, at first she kept grabbing Matsuri's breast until Matsuri told her not to do that anymore, and she was very self conscious about it. Like she was like, "Oh no," she started crying. Like, what if Matsuri doesn't like me anymore because I was kept grabbing her breast? But eventually they get over it and become friends. I'm sorry. I spaced out for a minute. I was trying to see if my eyes was on the camera. But anyways, so yeah, Matsuri's not Matsuri. Well, they are Matsuri's friends now. But Suzu's friends, they're cool. They're cool characters. They're enjoyable. They're entertaining. They're not boring. They're not important. It's even one episode where one of them gets involved with the Ayakashi, and Matsuri has to save her, but she doesn't. She doesn't realize it because regular humans can't see Ayakashi, but Matsuri can. So it was an interesting episode. Anyways, it's about the story, and I'm in this review. Story wise, it was pretty decent. It wasn't a great story, but I give it a 7 out of 10. Character wise, I give them a 7.5 out of 10. Overall, the anime, I think the anime is like a 7.5 out of 10. It was a pretty decent anime. Story wise, the story progresses not very well, but the story progresses pretty well. Yeah, the story progresses pretty well. It's not boring. The characters make decisions that make sense. So story wise, it's good. It's pretty decent. I like the concept of Ayakashi. They're kind of like yokai, but I don't think they are. Because usually yokai are dangerous. Like there are dangerous Ayakashi in the series, but most of them are not dangerous. There's only a few of them that's dangerous. The final adversary or the final villain was a generic evil villain. He was just evil for no reason, but they explained why he was so evil. But he did have character though, so he was interesting, and it was no forgiving or anything at the end, so that was good. So I like how the characters interact with their adversaries. So overall, this series I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Ayakashi Triangle. Now, why it's called Ayakashi Triangle? I don't know what I don't get the triangle part. Maybe I have to read the manga. But it's a decent series. I suggest you go check it out. Yeah. So this is your boy Robert Quest, bringing you another anime review. So I guess that's it. Peace. I'm out.